My name is William H. Harding, and I am an attorney at my law firm here in Charlotte. The law office is of William H. Harding. As far as a life lesson, uh, I would believe that the principle of you reap what you sow, that speaks volumes to me. Simply that you get out of life what you put into it. That also includes relationship, whether that's a relationship of professional or personal. Um, I believe that the harder you work and the more you put um, your all into something, the more likely that you will be successful and that you will reap the fruits of your endeavors. Well, I'm humbled to be considered and to be considered a made man. I think the what a made man means to me, it means someone that's very grounded and um, very respectful of not just where he is, but realizing that one is in a certain position of life because of the sacrifices of so many others. While I have the honor of being selected as a made man, the reality, y'all, is that there's so many people behind me that has put me in the position that I'm in, whether that's a very strong mother, whether that is a very loving and remarkable wife. Um, that to me, it's about respecting how you have become who you become, and I believe that has a lot to also to do as far as being a made man with respect to being well-rounded and having a sense of community as far as giving back to the community. Because again, um, I stand on the shoulders of so many, and I'm a firm believer to much is given, much is required. So, in my humble opinion, I think a made man is someone who understands um, not just who he is, but how he got there. I think what I would probably say to my younger self is that um, find time to enjoy the journey. I believe often we can get caught up in the, if you will, the hustles and bustles of life and forget to, if you will, take a moment to smell the roses. Because as we all know, life is very short. 1 minute you're 15, the next minute, if you're blessed, you're 55. And then you turn back and you wonder what happened to those 40 years. And I think if I had one thing to say to my younger self is that slow down, smell the roses, enjoy some of the fruits of your labor, and not to be in such a hurry to get there. I believe mentorship is very vital um, in all communities, but primarily in our communities, and not to get too political. But I believe that for those who have some degree or level of success in whatever avenue that may be, whether that's professional, personal, social, or otherwise, economic, I believe it is our not just our responsibility, but it's our privilege to give back and to help those who come behind us. Um, and the reality of it all is that if we don't do that, then we don't give credit to how we got here, because I've never met anyone, and obviously um, this is very, very vital in my life. I would not be where I'm at if it wasn't for other mentors looking out for me. I can recall when I was in high school, a teacher that knew and saw something in me that I wasn't sure of myself. I can also recall the reason why I became a lawyer was because I had a mentor who served as a father figure in my life and inspired me to become an attorney because of the example that I saw that he set with respect to his family. And I, in essence, I wanted to be like him so much that I wanted to become a lawyer because he was a lawyer. And at that time, I didn't even know what a lawyer was. And so I think that is a very poignant illustration of the importance of mentorship and its impact on my life. And so I am a strong believer in mentoring and giving back to those who come behind us. First of all, I'll probably say a prayer or kind of have my own one-on-one with my Lord and Savior, and then after that, I kind of like to analyze the challenge before me, and if you will, as I call it, dissect it, kind of cut it up into parts, because often one can get discouraged by thinking that a task or issue is overwhelming. It's kind of like I guess an example would be if a person, and I'll say, make a reference to food because I love to eat, but it's like if a person was trying to eat a whole cake at one time, granted it would probably be a lot of fun, but it could look as a pretty big challenge. Whereas if you took a knife and cut that cake into pieces and you just ate one slice at a time, before you know, that cake is gone. I recall when I was very young, and people would often ask me, what do you want to do when you get older? And I also would say I want to be a lawyer. I want to practice law. I want to help people. And often I would get a response that said, boy, do you know how many years of school you're going to be in, or do you know how much that's going to cost? And after some time, I almost kind of, if you will, I kind of drowned the noise out. And I realized that, yeah, that may be a long time, 7 years of college and law school, and then a bar exam and all these other things that stood in my way. But the way I looked at it is that I said, you know what, 7 years of undergrad and law school boils down to one semester and a half. A semester is usually around 4 months. So I said, you know what, if I just take one semester at a time, before you know, I'll be walking across that stage, and then I'll be walking into someone's court. And that's how I made it. And so that is the advice that I would give to anyone who is facing an obstacle that is quite difficult. Well, I believe both personally and professionally, the law firm of William H. Harding, we've done a lot for this great community. But I would also, if I may, would add that this community has done so much for me and for my law firm. And so it's not a one-sided relationship by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I've done personally and with respect to my law firm, we've partnered up with other businesses and organizations to help kids on several things. One, We do coat drives. I've done that with respect to making sure children as well as adults have coats for the winter. We've done turkey drives where making sure that people have food for Thanksgiving that may not be able to afford it. We've also done and supported after-school programs, including giving backpacks to students when they start the school year. Most recently, we have teamed up with the radio stations here. It would be it would be Old School 105, 92.7 The Block, and Praise 100.9, where we're going to feed those persons at Hope Haven, which is a facility or a shelter here to help families who are going through a crisis, and we're going to feed them all this Thanksgiving. And in partnership with those radio stations, we're also going to do a can drive where my law firm is going to match all of the canned goods that are donated by the community or members in the community here in Charlotte, and we're going to match whatever the community donates. My law firm is going to match that as well. So we do quite a bit to give back to the community that has given so much to us, and I don't say that lightly, because I am literally a beneficiary of a lot of support from this community, and I am humbled and honored to call myself a member of this community. I would like to personally and humbly thank and acknowledge all the partners, the Made Man Foundation, Wells Fargo, National Urban League, Miller Coors, Ciroc VS, United Nations, and Upscale Magazine. Please join us November 29th as the honorees mentor youth and college students donate suits and convene for the Made Man reception, 6 p.m. at Piper Glen Country Club.